chakra talk is identifying which chakra you communicate from, and then finding out what chakra the other person is coming from, so that you can have your personal message be said in their language so that they can understand. And so what happens is that if you can understand my message, then I can turn around and understand your message. We go from speaking to each other's chakras all the way up to a spiritual conversation. It's a really amazing thing.
Give me an example of how
Sure.
that would work if somebody was having difficulty communicating with someone.
Sure. So I'll just go over really quickly the chakras as it pertains to communication. So the base chakra, or the root chakra, for me, because it's different for everybody else, has to do with safety and security. So it's really important that if someone is coming from their root chakra, that we talk about safety, that we talk about security, that we talk about savings, that we talk about securities, that we talk about alarm systems, anything that makes them feel safe. All right. When we start speaking to their safety, then what happens is that they open up and they listen with all their chakras instead of just their root chakra. And so the second chakra is the sacral chakra. So it has to do with creativity, femininity, receptivities, all the itties, right? And so when someone is coming from that chakra, it's really good to help the conversation if we say, what are your ideas on this, and what is, how would you feel about that? And it's not about the emotional part, it's more about the creativity part, or finding a way for them to receive the information, because it's all about receptivity. And you want to do it in a very gentle way, because it's a very feminine chakra, in my opinion. The third chakra is the solar plexus. And the solar plexus for me is those are people who actually grip onto the past the most, because it has to do with emotions. And emotions are all things that were experienced in the past. So for those people, it's about, does it make you upset if this happens? How do you feel about these things? And really getting into the emotions of things in order for them to start opening up their chakra, right? The fourth chakra is the heart chakra. And it's not just about relationships. To me, it's about what's your thumbprint in life? What makes you unique? What's the greater love? What's the greater purpose? And so this is all about connectivity. It's all about collaboration. These are the things where you want to say, hey, what do you think about helping us with this? What do you think about, right? So anything that has to do with collaboration and being a part of, or making sure it's a part of the bigger message. So I would say to someone, hey, I've been thinking about world hunger, and world hunger is so huge. Let's start talking about our neighborhood, and then what do you think about this? Right? So it's about collaboration. Or you have this piece, I have this piece. Let's collaborate and make something pretty amazing happen. Right? So that's the fourth chakra. The fifth chakra is your throat chakra, which is about communication. So it's about being very direct. It's about being sincere and succinct. That's the thing about that. The sixth chakra is intuition. The thing about the intuitive chakra are the people who work with their intuitive chakra. They're the types of people that can have 10 different conversations at the same time. They pop to one and see how my conversations are even going faster, because that's how intuitive people communicate. They talk about this, then they talk about that, then they talk about the next thing, and they go back without any kind of segue. And then, the other intuitive people, they just hop along in the conversation. So for intuitive people, that's what you want to do. You want to stay with whatever the flow is, right? So that's what it is. The seventh chakra is the crown chakra, and that's the spiritual communication. And that's when all the chakras are working and in sync and running, and that's where you have the spiritual conversation. All right. I come from the fifth chakra, and not everybody comes from just one chakra. So I come from the fifth chakra, communication and intuition. So if I was to talk to someone about their root chakra, someone who comes from root chakra, I have a friend in mind, and she has a challenge in her life. The first thing I want to do is put my intuition in check and make sure I speak about safety and not to jump all over the place, and really focus on what makes her feel safe and secure. Once that happens, then we can open up the conversation to a lot of things. And that's what it's all about, because then what happens is she opens that chakra and moves all the way out. Makes sense. Once this happens and the conversation opens, then you're on your way to a spiritual conversation. And the truth is that it doesn't happen all the time. It could be, we are human beings. You could just be having a bad day and not wanting to have a conversation, right? But I will tell you that I just had to talk about it last week at an expo, and one couple, when they weren't a couple, they partnered up, never met each other. They ended up having a spiritual conversation based on this kind of layering. It was really amazing, really sweet.
So let me ask you, as an energy worker and a healer, why is it important to be having spiritual conversations?
I believe we all have a personal message, and that message is meant to be heard. That we want to convey our message to the world, right? It validates ourselves, and it also opens us up to being of service to others. The hard part is that the odds of someone's communicating exactly like you is 1 in 68 trillion. So think about this. If you weren't the same person you were last year, you couldn't even speak to your last year self. So it's really important to be able to speak other people's dialect in order for your message to come across. And there's nothing more satisfying than being able to hear someone else's message. When someone speaks their message, I'm inspired. And so if I'm inspired, then it compels me to do something beyond my normal self.